Good.
Cool. Good to hear. So, so a couple days ago, I was talking to my mom, right? And she was asking me, because if for any of you guys that don't know, I'm from the Virgin Islands, so out of the country, so that's where most of my family's at. I have a couple family in the U.S., but most of my family's back home. And I don't really go home too much just because, like, I'm one of those people that I like to work. Anyone here, like, likes to work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I genuinely, I don't know what it is. Like, sometimes it's not even about the money. Like, I just like knowing that I'm being productive. So, and she, you know, my mom back home, she, like, does real estate and I kind of blah, blah, blah. So she's like, oh, just come home. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll deal with that. I'm like, well, I don't have a need to be on the beach and chilling, you know, under the palm trees, drinking coconut water. Like, I'm good. I can do that another time. So she was asking me, like, how is it that you wake up every single morning and, like, consistently do the same thing? Like what is it that was built in you over the years? Because for any of you guys that don't know, which probably you don't, I'm probably one of the laziest people you'll ever meet. Like, if there's a corner that can be found to cut, Hasani Lynch will find it. I promise you. I was never someone that liked to do things like by the book, by the rules. So, like, this business, it molded me in a lot of different ways that, like, I had to understand that I couldn't necessarily take all the shortcuts that I usually would like to do to be able to get. So she asked me, like, what, I don't understand. And I told her one of the biggest things is, hey, buddy, how we doing? So I told her one of the biggest things that helped me out. All right, cool. Anyone have a mark? Sorry, Danny.
The buck.
So, I told her one of the biggest things. That's how you spell that, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Just making sure. All right. So I told her one of the biggest things that helped me out was, like, momentum. Like, because in this business, it's for any of our entry levels that, you know, first couple of days, first 2-3 days, this business is very momentum based. Okay, like it's based off of habits, routines. There's not much skill that goes into this business. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are someone that's skilled, let's say, you know, high IQ, can figure solutions out very quickly, like, you know, come from a certain background that's higher end, that helps you in this business for sure. But this business is not necessarily saying that you need to be a certain skill set to do it. Because look around this room, we have all types of different people that have different ethnicities, come from different backgrounds, different educations, whatever the case is, right? Some people that went to college, some people that didn't go past high school, doesn't matter, okay? So I told her one of the biggest things was, like, momentum, and I was thinking about the group of guys and girls that we have right now, and I'm like, okay, what's the thing that's gonna carry us to the next level, all right? Because, you know, we'll come in and, you know, someone that's been here for 2 weeks, Esther, did 20 last week. All right, cool. So her momentum is going pretty quickly right now. All right. Let's say maybe you were someone that came in this business that was me that, like, had a slower start. Like, I wasn't that good at this business. I didn't get as much. I guess I didn't get as much exposure until later on. Like, it took me a while to kind of pick it up, maybe a couple months. But I wasn't hot like Tia and Esther coming in, right? So I had to understand that the point of this was I had to make sure that I had the right habits. All right, and I had the right discipline going through this system. So we like to use this analogy sometimes in our business where imagine you have a train track, right? Imagine you have a train track, all right? No one judge my drawing.
I love it.
I love it. It's not the best.
That's the best car train ever.
All right.
Thomas,
All right.
the engine, is that you?
That car is sharp.
Aerodynamics.
Thank you, Hasani.
So we got the train track, right? What's up? So we have the train track, right? Now, on the train track, we have a boulder, okay? Now, if this train, all right, is going 120 miles per hour, what do you think is going to happen to this boulder when it finally comes to encounter with this train?
Break it.
It's going to crumble. It's going to crush. It's going to go straight through it, right? Because the train is already going with momentum. The train doesn't have to slow down. It doesn't have to restart the engine. It doesn't have to say, oh, okay, cool. Now I got to get started to go through it. All right? So we all agree that it'll go straight through it. Now, let's look on the other side of the fence. Let's say that this train at the moment was stopped. All right? It wasn't going anywhere. And right when the train had to start, before it even moved, this boulder was right here. What's probably going to happen to the boulder? It's going to stay right there. But why?
Because the train didn't have like a head start.
It didn't have any head start. It didn't have any momentum going with it. So that's how I look. That's how my mentors and my uplines had me look at this business. Like, it's more habits and routine based when it comes to this business, rather than you need to have like a certain skill set. So I think about it on days when, you know, we go out and we do 214 apps. Last week as an office, all right? Direct deposit in the next 2 weeks is probably gonna come in a little bit over $35,000, all right? On, you know, most of the paid percentages. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, so do we look at that and do we say, all right, we did really, really well, so now our momentum is going, so now let's take our foot off the gas? Or do we look at it and then we say, okay, what do we need to do to double down to turn that 214 into 418 or into 428, whatever the case is, right? So I think about it like this. And I'll start with leaders and then I'll work our way down to entry levels as to like what can help us out doing momentum-based things, because obviously not everyone's at the same level. But for leaders, right? I know I had a bad habit when I was like first starting off in this business and I got really good at production. I used to come, like before, when I sucked at production, think about it, leaders, whenever we do 1, right, or whenever we do 0, we're coming back and we're going straight in Danny's office. Hey, Danny, bro, I just don't know what happened today. I just had all the credit fields, my tablet wasn't working, I don't know what's going on. People said that they weren't interested. I need you to break down my day. I need your help, Danny. Can we all agree? Anytime we don't really have we go straight to Danny, we go straight to Miriam or Alexis, right? Now, days that we come in and we do 10, we do 8 in a day, we coming in, whose day needs to get broken down? I'm the high roller today. Who needs to get their day broken down? Me, I don't need to get my day broken down. But why? I would think more so than not that when I do crush in the day, when I do, you know, come up with an impact, when I do learn a new system, when I do learn a new skill set, that I need to now trap that in a bottle, secure it so that when I have an Esther on my team, so that when I have a Sean on my team, so that when I have a Lily on my team, I'm now saying like, okay, cool, when the next person on my team comes, I can now teach them how to have the same thing. Because guess what? Again, this business is momentum-based. Guys, I'm not gonna do 5 every single day, I promise you. There's gonna be a day I do 1, there's gonna be a day I roll it, there's gonna be a day I do 2, there's gonna be a day I do 10, but I'm not gonna do that every single day. So as soon as I build that habit of whatever that was working for me that day, I need to look at it and say, okay, cool, perfect. How do I stay on this momentum train? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, cool, perfect. Now, back to the entry levels, all right? So if I'm level 1, or if I'm newer, let's say I'm T or S, or I just got promoted to leadership, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, Hasani, I haven't been here for 6 months. I haven't been here for 4 months. I don't know what habits that I need to, like, I don't have as much exposure as Sharon, who has been in the business for 3 months and has 5 leaders on his team, right? About to have his mastermind qualifications out of this week. About to be a mastermind next week. I don't have that much experience yet. So what do I have to do? So if I'm newer and my train is stopped, what do I need to do to get my train started? What do I need to put in it? Gas, fuel. So now obviously we're not putting gas in anyone in this business. I would hope not. So what are some habits and routines that we would all say that we could build to put into our entry levels to make sure that their train can get to 150 miles per hour? Yes, sir?
Making sure we're coming in on time, and even early, because coming in early gives you that extra time to learn those systems, so that you're not having to learn them last minute right before you got in the field.
Absolutely, being on time, guys. Siobhan, Leah, these 2 young ladies, they've been in the business what, 4 days, 3 days? Guys, they don't even know what this business is yet. They don't even know what they've gotten themselves into yet. They're showing up at 8 o'clock. They don't. They're showing up at 8 o'clock. I didn't ask them to show up at 8 o'clock. Miriam didn't ask them to show up at 8 o'clock. They went to their leaders. They went to their uplines. They were like, hey, I know we're not really technically supposed to be here at 8, but can I like squeeze my way in there? Yesterday, I almost had to rub my eyes yesterday morning when I saw Leah. I'm like, Leah, it's 7:45. What are you doing here? She's like, well, I just thought I was gonna go to the meeting. I'm like, that fired me up. Last week, Tia, Esther, it's no crap that they're promoted. They were in the leaders meeting last week. You guys, it's not a skill set. It's just application of the momentum that you already have. Sharon, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for like what you were saying, let's say get like a different perspective from someone who started ahead of you, who was already ahead of the game.
Absolutely, networking.
Yeah.
Networking, guys, I'm telling you, this business is already a cheat code. Guys, we took 3 years of what it usually takes someone to get promoted into an executive CEO role, and we condensed that down to 6 months. Guys, you're not gonna be able to shortcut what's already a shortcut. trust me, take it from me, I tried, it didn't work. All right, so if you're not gonna listen to maybe someone that's been here for a short amount of time, listen to someone that's been here a little bit longer. Trust me, I tried to shortcut it. I tried to go around the back door, I tried to go through, it did not work. I have to go through the front door. That makes sense? Networking, guys, you don't have to, the beauty about this business is that there's people in this room that's been here for 4 days. There's people in this business, in this room, that has been here for 4 months. So instead of Esther saying, damn, I just had that same rebuttal from 3, 4, 5 different people back to back to back, you know what? F it. I'm gonna have that pride, and I'm gonna say, screw it, I don't need to figure it out from anyone else. Instead, Esther picks up the phone and she calls Sharon. She calls Tia. She calls Miriam, someone that she sees doing better, and she's like, hey, look, I just got this rebuttal. Someone said that they pay XYZ, that their internet is never cutting out. What do you typically do in that instance? Oh, you run a speed test just to see if they're getting the speeds that they're paying for? Boom. Next thing you know, you see Esther on the board, the next 2 doors, she signs up. Now, she just saved herself maybe what it would have taken her 2.5 weeks to figure that out on her own. A 3, 4, 5 minute phone call. Hey, how do I do this? Boom, networking. So I 100% agree. What are some other things? Tia?
I have a question. Is this for what entry level switches or what?
Entry levels.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for what worked for me, I was so eager to get promoted. So I was like, how do I get promoted?
I know, that's why you were here at 8 o'clock driving an hour away.
Exactly. So like this, that urgency, like
Yeah.
being eager to get
Urgency,
promoted.
absolutely. I agree. For those of you that weren't at the conference, obviously entry levels that's been here for a week, you didn't see it, but we had a conference 2 weeks ago in Philadelphia. It was a regional conference. Regional conference. Yeah. So we had a bunch of our offices across the country come down to Philadelphia, and it was probably about 1,000 people in a room. Everyone that was in this people that are just like you in this business come from similar backgrounds. And we had different managers and different assistant managers go on stage and speak. And Danny was actually he was the first speaker there, and his topic was urgency. All right? His topic was like, hey, look, I don't want to rely on myself to be able to do everything because humans are faulty. We're emotional creatures. Eventually, our goldfish is going to pass away. Eventually, our tire is going to pop. Eventually, we're going to throw some Clorox accidentally in the laundry with all our back clothes and everything's going to get messed up. So I just need to be urgent. I need to make sure that every single thing I do it with excellence. That makes sense? Like, if I'm going to do something, I don't want to do it half-assed because guess what? I'm going to have to do it again. Anytime I was growing up, my mom was like, Hasani, go wash the dishes. And I was like, all right. I just like threw some water on it and then just put it in. She was waking me up at midnight. Boy, please get up and go rewash those dishes. And then if I had just did it properly at 8, I wouldn't have to get back up. Right? So if I'm gonna do something, Siobhan's laughing because she knows.
My mother's Guyanese.
She knows.
I can do my son now.
Trust me, exactly. You guys know. So it's like, but if I had just did it immediately with urgency, then I wouldn't have had to have that problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, urgency, being on time, networking. Couple of things.
Asking more questions.
Asking more questions. All right, that goes into networking. Like, guys, you don't have to figure it out on your own. All right, so if you're an entry level, you're like, hey, look, I haven't been here for 4 or 5 months. I haven't been here for 6 months. I don't have the experience that Danny has. I don't have, maybe the talent that Zach has. You don't have to have their experience and their talent. All you have to go to them and say, hey, Zach, so how did you get XYZ? Hey, Sharon, how did you get so many leaders on your team so quickly? Hey, Tia, how did you do 20 in a week your first week? How did you do that? What, Tia's just better than everyone else in here? Esther's just better than everyone else in here? No, we're all humans. Right? So that there's something that they did that was maybe a little bit more than us. So it was our habits. All right? Another thing that I would say is maybe waking up on time. Like, guys, look, me personally, I'm just speaking for me. I know if I do not get at least 6 hours of sleep, don't talk to me the next morning. You can't, because I'm going to be in a bad attitude. But I can't put that on you guys, I put it on me. So I have to make sure by 12 o'clock every single night, my eyes are closed and I'm out. Because I know when I come in the morning, I have people I have to pour into. All right, I owe people an opportunity. I sat down on a second round with some of you guys and I said, hey, look, in 6 months, you are going to be in a management position. In 6 months, you're going to be in a completely different position than you ever thought you would have seen yourself in. And if I don't fulfill that wish to you guys, I'm now a liar. Would you agree? So I can't be a liar, so I have to make sure. So if you know you're someone that like you need sleep, please, why are you on the phone until 3 a.m. with your significant other? You can just talk to them tomorrow.
Yes.
Why are you on the phone playing Fortnite? Or sorry, why are you on the game playing Fortnite until 4 a.m.? Get some sleep. Now look, I know there's some people in this room like Miriam that could survive off of 2 hours of sleep and still look as beautiful as she does. I don't know how she does it every single day, but she does it. I'm not as good as Miriam. All right, so that's another thing. I need to know what fits for me. That make sense? Cool. So, like I said, perfect. On time. So, like I said, guys, momentum. That's all this business is. It's not a skill set. It's not something that's like, oh man, if I don't have that certain smile, if I don't have that certain personality, I'm not going to be able to do something. Guys, it's just habits. It's routines. It's doing the same thing over and over every single day. Now, look, I'll be honest with you. The first couple weeks of building a new habit, it's going to feel weird. All right, it's gonna feel uncomfortable because it's if you've never been to the gym, right? And all of a sudden you just go to the gym, guys. That first 2 weeks, your body's gonna be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Your body's gonna be like, "Boy, what are you doing?" All right, I literally remember a month ago, I was speaking to Danny. And he had just started going to the gym with Porto, and he was like, "Bro, I don't even know how to go to the office today. I just don't." I don't hear him. What?
All the time.
Did Danny stop going to the gym? No, he still goes to the gym now, but he's now built that habit that it probably still hurts, but it's a mental game. It's something that he doesn't even have to think about it now. He's just built that mental muscle where it's like, all right, cool, it's 6:30, just let's go up. Let's just get this crap over with. Does that make sense? So once you build a habit, you don't have to rely on having the talent anymore because the habit is already there. Guys, I don't rely on my talent to go out there and sign people up. I rely on the pitch. All right, I rely on my practice. The 15, 20 minutes that we practice pitching here, that's why Brianna just now, she wasn't here yesterday, but she was here on Monday. I was like, hey, how much of this pitch do you have down? I was like, I need you to be honest with me because if you're not, then I can't help you. She's like, Hasani, I gotta be honest with you, I don't have any of this pitch down. I was like, okay, by the time we are gonna be finished practice pitching, you're gonna have these 3 paragraphs down. She can say the 3 paragraphs like the back of her hand now. Should we test it? No, I'm playing. I'm playing, but she can because she's now built a habit over and over and over again. That makes sense? So when we go out there today in the field, when we're struggling with something, when it's something like, oh damn, I don't know how to fix this issue. Oh man, I'm having that. Guys, you're not by yourself. Every single person has a phone number in here. All right? Every single person has a friend. Guys, I have hundreds of friends from this business. And if I have hundreds, Danny has thousands. I'm telling you, there's someone that's just like you that we know in this business that we could just match you up on a phone call with and be like, hey, look, I'm not having the best momentum right now. I'm trying to figure out how to get my situation kick-started. Hey, how can you help me? All right? So when we go out there today, let's just apply that. Okay? Can we do that? Yeah.